Sometimes what you want and what you believe are not in the same place. And then your desire doesn't feel so good, does it? So that really is the point of everything that we have to say to you. It's all about you figuring out some way to believe your own desire. And for most humans, the reason you don't is because some of what you desire has not yet come into what you call manifestation. You can't yet see it or hear it or smell it or taste it or touch it. So it feels absent to you. It's not there. And as you look for it and don't yet see it, you practice the idea of it not being there yet. And so without meaning to, by noticing what is in terms of manifestation, you practice the absence of the things that you want. Well, you live in a universe that is vibration. Most don't know it because you translate vibration so well, you don't even know you're doing it. So you are observing through your physical senses and coming to conclusions about what is. And what is, in that manifested sense, is very important to you. It's certainly what gets most of your attention as you're comparing it and observing it, talking about it, defending it sometimes, explaining it. So without meaning to, you hold active in your vibration what is, which means what is hard pressed to change. Because in this vibrational universe, you are emitting a vibration based upon what you're thinking that law of attraction is responding to. So you get what you think about. So if you're thinking about the absence of something you want, you keep getting the absence of something that you want. So you have to find some way of distracting yourself from the absence of it. Some use imagination. For a while we talked about scripting, telling the story the way you want it to be, talking more about what you're desiring and less about what is. But you live in this world where what is very compelling, isn't it? And we would like, in this time that we have together, to help what is to be a little less compelling, and what is vibrationally accomplished, which you cannot yet see or hear or smell or taste or touch, but you can feel it, you can sense it, you can know it through your emotions. If we can convince you about this vibrational reality that you've already created, where all of your desires are already all framed up vibrationally, if we can get you to begin trying to sniff out that vibrational reality instead of focusing so much upon the see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, already materialized reality, then things will speed up for you. But even more than you getting from where you are to where you want to be more quickly, it's that you will feel better along the way, and that really is the whole point. It's hard for you to hear it, but you did not come here to accomplish destinations. You came here to discover destinations, goals, dreams, things that you want, because it's so joyful, the movement toward them. Now, don't misunderstand. We're not talking about the movement of moving toward them and not getting there. That sucks. We're not trying to talk you out of your manifestations. We're wanting to help you carve out a quicker, more joyful path to the achievement of the things that you want. So these things are necessary. It's important that you accept that you are a vibrational being in a vibrational universe. And it also is very helpful if you understand that you are an extension of source energy, that there is a non-physical part of you who exists and is offering a vibration that is available to you at all times. You don't hear it because you're on a different frequency sometimes. Sometimes you do hear it when you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on. The better you feel, the more in alignment you are, and the more you are hearing it. But we know, since you are physical and you live in this physical world, that the physical world matters to you. It matters a lot, and it should, because you came specifically intending to be a creator out here on this leading edge where thoughts do turn to things, where manifestations do occur, where you have the full-blown visceral experience of your creation. You did not come here to get into a meditative stance and stay there. You came here to revel in the exhilarating excellence of your own creative ability. And so we just want to help you to understand the basics of how the universe works so that you can get in sync with these laws, so that you can be happier more of the time, and so that you can be the aligned, the blended, the complete being that you are. You were source energy before you came into this physical body, and now that you are here, your personality, your consciousness, and most of all, your point of focus, what you are thinking about, causes you to activate a vibrational frequency. Now that frequency, you don't even know you're doing it, but you are. That frequency is having a relationship with the frequency of your inner being. Some call it your soul, the source within you. And so the relationship between what you're thinking about and the vibration of it, and what the source within you is thinking about and the vibration of it, that's what equals your emotion. Your emotional guidance system is all about that. When you are really in sync with what source knows about you. And we don't mean about you before you got here. We don't mean about you from your non-physical stance. We don't mean you, the eternal you that is always hanging around in non-physical and occasionally coming forth into physical. We're not talking about that you. We're talking about the you right now who is having an experience with someone or something and who has an opinion about it right here, right now. That's the relationship that we want you to be aware of, because source is with you now, aware of where you are now, of what you want now, of where you are emotionally or vibrationally, where you are. In other words, do you believe what you want? Are you talking about what you want, or are you talking about it not ever coming? Are you talking about things that feel good to you, or are you talking about things that feel bad to you? Because if you're talking about things that feel bad to you when you're talking about them, then you have found a vibrational stance that is different than the vibrational stance that Source has about the same subject in the same time. And this is important for you to know, because this guidance is real time. It's real time and it's real. It's source energy. It's all those who've come before, who are aware of you, who are adoring you, who are rooting for you, who know where you stand in relationship to everything you want, and who are calling you along what we are wanting to call the path of most allowance, but calling it the path of least resistance means the same thing. Calling you toward what you are wanting. So why is it a path of least resistance? What causes us to express it to you in that way? Where does the resistance come from? Why is there even any resistance? Because you have thrown up resistance. You've put the resistance on your path. And Source is calling you through your own resistance. In other words, we could say to you, in fact, we do all day, every day, what you want is over there. And if you will go over there, and if you will go now, you'll find a piece of it, and you'll like it now, and it will lead to something more. But you don't go because you're ornery. Or you don't go because you're worried about something. Or you don't go because you're in a different vibrational frequency, so you don't hear the precise, specific guidance, because you're not tuned to that kind of frequency. So here comes this thought, this idea, and right along with it, so close with it that you think that it happens simultaneously. You feel the emotion of it, because the emotion of it is the indicator of the gap between the vibration of your thought and the vibration of the thought of the source within you. So when you feel elation, you're right there. There's no gap. You're right there. And that's why you received that thought. That's why that idea was so strong. And unless you do something to add resistance to the idea, you could stay on the wavelength of that idea and you could carry it out to its full fruition. And you know that because you have done that on some occasions. So the thoughts are turning to things. The vibration is turning to thought. Now it's a thought. The question is, how long will that thought sustain? How long will you hold the frequency of this great idea? Well, the answer to that usually lies in how long will it take you to tell somebody else about it who doubts it? Because most of you start talking about your ideas before there is enough momentum in them, so there's no evidence of them. And it's so easy to talk yourself out of a really good idea before it has any vibrational momentum. And you know why it doesn't have any vibrational momentum? Because you think about it, but then you think about the absence of it. You kill the momentum with the contradictory thought. Well, cut that out. If you would not do that, if you could find some way to believe in your desires, to believe in your ideas longer, to hold the doubt at bay, to replace the doubt with belief. So what does that require? That requires knowing that it is a vibrational reality that will come to fruition, but you've got to coax it along. No, it isn't that you've got to coax it along. You're not the energy that makes it happen. The energy that creates worlds is the energy that makes it happen. You don't have to coax it along. You just have to stop killing it. You just have to be more optimistic, which means in those early stages, usually you want to be more general about it. The more general you are, the less likely you are to introduce resistance to the idea. So here's this vibration that you are now translating into an idea. You want to do everything you can to keep that idea alive. And if it begins to lose its momentum, if you begin to doubt it, it's time for you in that moment to stop talking about it, stop thinking about it. Because at that point, the more you talk about it, the more you introduce more of the contradictory energy to it. You see what we're getting at? So the creative process is 3 steps. The first step is ask, and life causes you to do that. The contrast causes you to know what you want, and you are vibrationally sending the request or the asking. Step 2 is source becomes the vibrational equivalent of what you've asked for, lines up with it so powerfully and begins emitting a signal which law of attraction is responding to. Now that's important to know, because think about what you know about law of attraction. Law of attraction is responding to that signal. You're going to love this. We've never said this to you before. Because law of attraction is responding to that signal, that's causing a momentum. A path has opened up. Can you get the sense of that? So now, how does the resistance get on that path? Because you're emitting a signal too. You're standing here in the reality that you call life, having your opinions about it, about the same subject that Source has an opinion about, a clear, sure opinion calling you toward it, but you've got an opinion that might not be going with the flow of it. And that's what causes resistance to be upon the path. Because you get to think about things too. You get to think about them. You should think about them. That's how you carved out the desire to begin with. But the moment that you launched the rocket, Source became so on board with that rocket and is calling all cooperative components toward the fulfillment, the culmination, the full manifestation of what you have carved out. The question is, are you a cooperative component? There's that gap, that vibrational variance between who you really are and who you're allowing yourself to be. And understanding that gap, which is evidenced to you by emotion, is the only thing that you ever need to know about the creating of anything, because it is our promise to you. When you launched the rocket, it became a vibrational reality. And now you have every means available to you for you to become in the receptive mode so that you can translate that vibrational reality into the full-fledged, manifested, see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it reality. And that, friends, is why you're here in these bodies. Because it is so much fun to decide from your unique and important vantage point what you want. This is what the evolution of all species is about. Life causes you to ask for more. That's what makes us all eternal, you see. You cannot get it wrong, and you never get it done.